There's a certain kind of pain that doesn't fade with time. It doesn't soften. It doesn't scar over. It calcifies. It hardens into something sharp enough to cut anyone who gets close. And in the world of The Last of Us, pain isn't just a wound. It's a blueprint. It shapes people. It remakes them. And no one embodies that transformation more than Joel Miller, a man who once lived a normal, quiet life, only to become one of the most dangerous survivors walking through a ruined America. But what people sometimes forget is this. Joel wasn't always a killer. He wasn't a hardened smuggler. He wasn't a man who saw the world as something already dead. He was a father, a tired, imperfect, loving father. And the tragedy of Joel is that the world didn't just take his daughter away. It took him away too. Before the outbreak, Joel was the kind of man you could pass on the street and never think twice about. He wasn't legendary. He wasn't violent. He wasn't a survivor in the way the world would later define it. He was just a single dad trying to keep his head above water, working long days and coming home exhausted, only to find his daughter still awake on the couch waiting for him. Sarah sees him in a way the world doesn't, not as some gruff, intimidating figure, but as her dad, the man she jokes with, the one she saves money to buy a watch for, the one she knows is struggling, but still trying. And that little slice of normal life is crucial. Those few minutes at the start of the game, the birthday joke, the quiet warmth, that's who Joel really is, or at least who he was. Because the Joel we meet in those moments is warm, patient, almost gentle. He doesn't know what's coming. If he did, maybe he would have held Sarah just a second longer. Maybe he would have said something he'd spent decades wishing he'd said. And then the world ends, not slowly, not politely. It tears itself open in a single night of chaos, violence, and impossible choices. Joel grabs Sarah, trying to outrun everything collapsing around them. Buildings on fire, screams in the distance, soldiers firing without hesitation. The world is dying, and Joel is desperately clinging to the only part of it that matters. When they finally reach safety, or what looks like it, a single gunshot tears a hole straight through Joel's life. There's a kind of grief so raw, so violent, that it doesn't just break you, it rewrites you. And in that moment, Joel doesn't just lose Sarah, he loses the ability to be who he was with her. That version of Joel, the working dad, the man who loved quietly, dies on that highway in his arms. From here on out, everything he becomes is shaped by that one night. The tragedy is that the world didn't just take his daughter, it took the man she loved. When the story jumps 20 years, we don't see a man recovering. We see a man surviving. A man who's built his personality like armor. His voice is colder. His eyes are tired. His actions are blunt and cruel. Joel doesn't hesitate to kill, steal, lie, because this world taught him that hesitation is a death sentence. He and Tess operate like two people who've chosen to step outside morality, because morality doesn't pay the bills anymore. There's no softness in Joel now, no real connection. Tommy has left him, unable to watch his brother's heart rot away. Tess is the only person he trusts, and even then, it's a trust built on shared pragmatism, not affection. Joel has become exactly what the world rewards: brutal, loyal to nothing, loyal to no one. This is where the contrast hits hardest. The Joel from the prologue wouldn't survive here, and this Joel would barely recognize the man he once was. When Ellie enters Joel's life, something strange happens, but not instantly. It's subtle. At first, she's a job, a paycheck, a cargo delivery. Joel doesn't want her, doesn't want to feel anything, doesn't want to open the door that leads back to the pain he spent 20 years burying. But Ellie is stubborn. She jokes like Sarah did. She asks questions. She challenges him. She chips away at the concrete shell around him without even realizing it. And somewhere along the way, Joel starts teaching her things he didn't have to teach: how to shoot, how to swim, or at least how to trust him when she can't, how to handle fear, how to stay alive without losing her entire sense of self. Those lessons aren't coming from the hardened smuggler. They're coming from the father he used to be resurfacing like a memory he didn't know he missed. Ellie doesn't just remind Joel of Sarah, she reminds him of himself. And the more he cares, the more dangerous he becomes, because now Joel has something to lose again. If there's one chapter that defines Joel's transformation, it's winter. When Ellie is taken by David's group, Joel becomes something terrifying. Not heroic, not noble, but primal. He tortures without hesitation, without guilt, without second thoughts. His voice is gravel and fury. His rage isn't controlled, it's vicious, unfiltered, born from pure terror of loss. This isn't the father Joel used to be. This is the monster the world forged in him. He's not protecting Ellie, he's avenging Sarah all over again. He's driven by a fear so deep it warps everything else. And when he finds Ellie, he doesn't even have the words to express the relief. He just holds her, repeating,
It's me.
He tried to...
Oh, baby girl. It's okay. It's okay.
Joel.
That moment is beautiful, but also tragic, because it marks the point of no return. From here on, Joel is willing to burn the whole world down for her. When Joel learns that the Fireflies intend to sacrifice Ellie, he doesn't hesitate, he doesn't negotiate, he doesn't weigh the moral consequences. He snaps. The hospital massacre is one of the most uncomfortable scenes in gaming, because it doesn't feel like the actions of a hero. It feels like the actions of a desperate, frightened man who refuses to lose another child. Joel kills everyone. Guards, soldiers, doctors, with the efficiency of someone who has lived 20 years sharpening himself into a blade. It's not righteous, it's not clean. But for Joel, it's the only choice that makes sense. Because saving Ellie isn't about saving humanity. It's about saving himself from the pain that destroyed him once. And in that moment, every version of Joel, the father, the survivor, the monster, collides into one final version. The darkest thing Joel ever does isn't murder, it's lying. He robs Ellie of her agency, her truth, and her right to decide whether her life was worth sacrificing. He crafts a story, shields her from reality, and convinces himself it's kindness. But deep down, Joel lies because the alternative terrifies him. He doesn't want to be alone again. He doesn't want to feel that old wound reopen. He wants Ellie to stay beside him, even if it's built on a foundation of deception. And that's what makes this ending so human, so painful. Joel isn't choosing what's best for the world. He's choosing what's bearable for his heart. Joel's story isn't a tale of good versus evil. It's a study of how love and grief twist a person into something unrecognizable. He is both the warm father from the prologue and the violent survivor forged by 20 years of brutality. He is deeply human flawed, selfish, loving in a way that can be destructive. That's what makes Joel one of the greatest characters in gaming. He's not a symbol, he's not a hero, he's not a villain. He's what happens when the world takes everything from a man and leaves him with nothing but his instincts. Joel didn't become a monster because he wanted to. He became one because the world demanded it, and because keeping Ellie alive meant letting that monster take the wheel one last time. In the end, Joel is a tragedy. Not because of how he died or what he did, but because of who he used to be, and who he had to become just to survive.